those I shot, were you able to see them?
Let's load gear. Already set this all up. Alright, so this is going to be a demonstration of fighting Apocalypsion. Showcase gear, and I'll talk about it a little as we go through the fight. So, Yen's being used as support. She's mostly here just to chunk the ever-living hell out of the CC bar. You want to make sure she has plenty of crit, and she's also our mortal wound candidate for the second fight. Selene's main DPS. We're going just enough crit to make sure we cap for the second boss. We're not worried about capping on the first boss because the damage check on the second boss is way more important, so we're building around that boss specifically. So we're running stacking damage, double defense ignore. Elias is full attack, except for, let's see, this earring. We're running this just to make sure her attack speed doesn't get lowered, so that way she's still functional. But she's mostly here just for passives. My personal recommendation is actually do an M defense build on her, not an attack build. I do believe that it is better to have an M defense build for this fight. Frees up the accessory slot. You don't have to run Orb of Contract to force her to be the highest attack, and you want her to be the target of Hauled into Hell. Shea, pretty standard. Nothing too special here. Loman, mix of Manticore for just overall damage reduction, and then we're also running some Ascalon pieces with decent M defense, M block. Yeah, the P-Tough line's not great, but it's used for another set, so I'm not reforging it. But this is sufficient to at least tank the base value, our base version of this fight. We are armed with 2 auras there to just help out the team, and we are running Solar Stone because the second fight does require that heal rate reduction. Isaiah's set is just all crit damage auras. This is actually my Lateral set, so it really doesn't do anything special because it's just giving Isaiah just a ton of crit damage, which really can't utilize. So it's a lot of wasted stats on her. I think a full-on MP-Sec build armed with this Dispel would allow you to actually Dispel at the start of the fight before the first hit actually lands. And then you're able to Dispel every 15 seconds to keep the boss from or at least the first boss from having his 50% damage dealt increase, which would actually make the first fight significantly easier. So I think that would be the better way to gear Isaiah. May, just full attack. This is my classic attack aura set that's usually used on Fallen Fray. We're just using it on May because it just gives her a ton of attack, gives her some attack speed so she has decent mana income, etc. She's perked just for ramp power, giving mana to the whole party, heal rate, auras, and crit rate, so she's just there to boost everybody up. And Estelle, full Siegfried set, third skill cooldown just so we have better uptime. Also helps her crit rate, so she'll be critting her heals. Other than that, the set's not exactly optimized for this fight, but I have enough HP that I'm able to survive. I would recommend running Earring on her, and of course having like some M defense runes and stuff on the chest. Other than the 1 skill 3 cooldown, everything else on her is auras, I believe. Aura. Yep, auras. Alright. Yeah, and she's got a crit chest piece, so that's just to help her crit rate, because we want her critting so she can trigger her unique weapon stun all the time, so that way we are not struggling on the CC bar. Alright, let's do this. First hit comes out real quick though, so I don't know if he'd be able to dispel it even with the fast mana Isaiah. So we didn't have Isaiah's S3 up in time. I tried to jump back quickly enough, but I couldn't. So that's just unlucky start. The higher MP sec would help with that too, because you can just get that first cast off just a little bit quicker. So that way you're not waiting for the 4 skill cast. Alright, so we have S3 ready this time. You always want to look for when that boss cocks his head back. That's when you want to do the S3 with Isaiah. Once the screen's fully zoomed in on his face. Alright, so we're going to shield halfway through this just to keep the stacks down. Comes that breath. Head zoom in. S3. Yeah, Selene's not crit capped, so her damage isn't as high as it could be on this first boss, but it's sufficient enough to beat the boss, and that's really all I'm worried about. In fact, spending a little more time on the first boss is actually advantageous, because it does mean that we get more time for May to ramp. Alright, so that CC bar is empty, we've done good. We're just going to save as many soul weapons for the second fight as we can. We're going to shield that. That was a little early, but should be fine. Got in pretty close, though. Alright, so first dragon's down. Now we gotta fight Apocalypsion. Your damage output does go down dramatically as the fight goes on, so getting as much damage in early as you can is pretty important. So we're going to pop all our soul weapons, just get to doing damage immediately. Selene soul weapon nice and early, that's what I like to see. There's the energy charge, so camera's gonna go behind her. Wait till it comes back to the side. And S3 with Isaiah. Alright. Again, pop in as many soul weapons as we can when we have them. Selene's on overdrive. Alright, now we want to save CC at this point because we need to make sure we have enough CC for when we get her to 1%. So I'm holding Loman. That CC bar has been emptied. We're going to S3 with Isaiah just to make sure we're protected so we don't die. And hopefully this fight actually clears. We actually get the rewards. Alright, so Vespa did actually fix it. So there we go. This is a 4-dragon down kill of Apocalypsion with Selene as the main DPS. I will be making efforts to expand to go up to 1 dragon boss, which will likely be the Frost Dragon I'll probably leave up. We'll see, as I think that'll be the easiest one for my comp to deal with. But yeah, I mean, we'll give it a try. We'll tweak some gear. We'll get a better set for Isaiah. We'll get Estelle better equipped and so on. We'll really fine tune this team, and I think we can tackle the two. So I'm getting 600 of these frags every week for every boss clear. So there we go. Thanks for joining. Have a good day.